No, baby, that's for somebody else. We're just gonna keep you right where you're at right now.
It doesn't matter what you think.
The Wrestling Realm presents Break It Down with Brian H.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Break It Down with Brian H. You know, sometimes you got to call on family when you want to do something cool. You know, they're evolving in the world of professional wrestling as we have Evolution. And, you know, I've been evolving with my family, and I called on my good brother, the one, the only Glen Thomas of the Wrestling Marks of Excellence Radio of Fox Sports 1340, 96.9. Glen, what's up, bro?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much. Just enjoying the world of wrestling this week, man. Having fun.
Yeah, man, so much going on. So people know they know they're about to get a Evolution preview, but I mean, you and I, we talk wrestling literally every single day of the week. So it's an opportunity where fans can kind of get that fourth wall broken down, man. Real quick, your thoughts on Roman Reigns?
Man, I think it's a sad thing. I think it's a sad thing for him, his family, and his fans. I think it's been a good thing for the WWE. For those who knew that he had it for the last 11 years, that was in remission for the last 11 years, and that he was able to fight, claw, and be at the top of the game, for the time that he was in the WWE. It just shows you that life can hit you at any moment, and whether you got to be prepared spiritually, mentally, and physically for whatever takes place,
Yeah, you said something right there spiritually. Roman has gone on Twitter a couple times, I mean, obviously we're not going to get into a religious debate here. I mean, we'd be on the same side of the debate anyway, but he's gone on and, he's not ashamed of who he is and who he served, So I think right now, one of the things I love was seeing Shawn Michaels back there with the, kind of laying hands on him, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you're in troubled time, and I come to realize in life, regardless of what people believe, when troubled times hit, everybody look to a higher being.
Mm-hmm.
Look to God, and they don't mind prayer. I've learned that in life, regardless of people living right or not, they don't mind prayer, because it works.
Who you telling? But let's get into this. So Evolution, man. Before we actually jump into this card, your thoughts on when this was announced?
I thought it was great. I thought it was about time. I thought it was a great movement by the WWE. They had a strong roster, a women roster at the time to be able to do it. My concern was, will you get the fan population of those who come out and support it? We know other organizations have done it, but it's just like, when the WWE does it, they do it better. And so I was just waiting to see what matches would be called, what matches would come up, and I was interested to see which stars would come back. And because the women's Royal Rumble match itself was great, and you saw a lot of stars, a lot of nostalgia, since that's the key word for this week, a lot of nostalgia effects that was going on. And I thought the Evolution pay-per-view, it was announced well. I think how Stephanie McMahon did it, and I thought the timing was done well.
Yeah, certainly. Are there any names out there that we know? Well, I want to say, when I say no, that I'll say they haven't announced, that's not going to be a part of this, that you kind of wish was around for this one?
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm a big Karma fan, Awesome Kong.
Mm-hmm.
I wish she was announced for this one. I would love to see her and Nia Jax, which probably ain't gonna happen now since Nia's in the Battle Royal. We never know. I mean, Nia may come up. Kia Stevenson may come. May come out. But that's one that I wanted to see. And that was just the main one. I knew we was gonna get Trish. I knew we was gonna get Lita. You just knew those was there. Would love to see Michelle McCool somewhere down the line. Hopefully she's in the Battle Royal. That's one of the things that you want to see. Some of the people that can still go. Eve Torres would be one. I don't know how she's doing right now, but just those few names right there.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, those definitely some good names. I think about AJ Lee. I think about Jacqueline, Ivory. I know, people might say, oh, they're old with their Hall of Famers. But, I would like to see the NWA Women's Champion, Jazz. Would love to see her in this. And for what it's worth, I would love to see Sable.
See, I was going to say Sable, but I figured I don't know, her husband is probably cool with the WWE. I don't know what that relationship is like.
That's a good point.
I don't know what that relationship is like. And then same thing with AJ Lee. I would have said AJ Lee, but don't know what that relationship is like too because of her husband in the WWE.
That's true. That's
You don't want to mess up anybody's home. Now I would love to see AJ Lee back. Her and Alexa Bliss would be a great match right now.
Mm-hmm. I think another one, with Sable, I think if you found a way, because you could put, I mean, the in-ring stuff wasn't always the best, but the storyline would have been great. Say like a Sable and a Mandy Rose or somebody like that.
Yeah, good. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get Stephanie involved.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't get involved in this as well.
Yeah. And a lot of people say, well, the McMahons always find a way to put themselves over. But, I mean, let's be real. This is impossible without her, I'll be the one to say it. It's not.
No. And, I mean, when people say that, I laugh because look how many times McMahons have done the job.
Exactly.
They've done the job and put the star over, the wrestler over, more so than themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You count on the one hand that where Vince put himself over. I think when Vince, I want to say it's 97, if I'm not mistaken, when Undertaker and Kane pinned Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Vince put himself over by stealing the title. It's very
breakdown.
Yeah, breakdown. So there's very few times where McMahon's actually put themselves over and not the star.
Right. So yeah, let's get into this card. Okay. So it depending when somebody's listening to the show, because we know the Mae Young Classic is happening. So I'll say, let people know, full disclaimer. We're recording this before the Mae Young Classic has determined the finals, but they're out there. We know who's going to be in the finals, so we might as well make our prediction because Evolution will host the finals, which I think is great also. So we have Toni Storm will take on Io Shirai, and who do you think wins that one?
I think Toni Storm. I think the WWE is high on Toni Storm. I think she wins that also because of the UK, NXT UK, what's going on there. Mm-hmm. I think Toni Storm gets the win. I don't see them, and I don't want anybody to take this out of context. I don't see two Asian females winning back to back.
Well, you said it, so I didn't have to. Like you said, not trying to be smart or not trying to, but just think it's more of a let's give somebody else a chance. And I do think they are high on Toni Storm. I think that I thought she was going to get signed last year, to be honest. But yeah, I think Toni Storm wins this, and that'll put me right into our next matchup, which right now, according to Wikipedia, says to be determined. And that'd be Rhea Ripley defending the Women's UK NXT UK Women's Championship, and get the saying right, against the opponent to be determined later. You see Rhea Ripley losing the belt?
No, I don't see Rhea losing this title. It's newly NXT UK Women's Championship. Don't see her losing it. I'd be interested to see who her opponent is. To me, it'll be interesting to see who they put in that match to face her. We could, in theory, you could get Toni Storm in that match. She could do double duty.
That's what. Now, if that happens, that's where, because I think that's who takes the title from her. I think it's Toni Storm.
Yeah, I do too. I like Toni Storm. I like Rhea Ripley. I think what WWE is doing with the NXT UK Women's Championship or NXT UK in general is great, expanding their brand. But I want to say I hope this is a surprise. I hope this would be the match that is a surprise. But my instincts telling me that it's going to be Toni Storm.
Yeah, me too. So let's move on. We got a 6-women's tag match, or a 6-man tag match. Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Natalya taking on the Riot Squad. Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riott. Who you like in this one?
I like the Riot Squad.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Riot Squad wins this one. Just for the simple fact that they've been on a roll lately. We saw Ruby Riott on Monday night defeat Sasha Banks. We saw the Riot Squad, kind of not dominate for the last couple of months, but be in good spots and put on some good matches. I still think WWE wants Sasha Banks and Bayley to split up, and I think this might be the opportunity to put that that seed or that ripple into that relationship between Sasha Banks and Bayley. And I say Sasha Banks get pinned by Sarah Logan.
Okay. Now, see, I'm confused right here because just on Monday Night Raw this past Monday, we saw Sasha Banks get pinned by, I think she got pinned by Ruby Riott. I know she lost. And Ruby Riott's been on a roll. I've said on the latest episode of Break It Down with Brian H., which you can find on Wrestling Realm Networks, that I think Ruby Riott is the one to take the title from Ronda Rousey in some way, shape, or form. Like, if I had to pick anybody on the roster, it would be her. But so part of me wants to pick the Riot Squad, but I'm like, are they going to keep winning? And then part of me says, agrees with you but I think I'll go a step further and say this would be where the turn takes place between Sasha and Bayley. So I'm kind of on a limb with this one.
Yeah, I think this would be the ideal. If you wanted to turn it, you do it now, leading into Survivor Series. You would get it done and let them have their own two separate teams. But I can also see WWE keeping them together, and just having them to be on the same team and do it in Survivor Series again. I mean, this feud, if you think about it, if it starts a feud, this feud is almost coming up on a year old.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember too, Survivor Series has now kind of become the hybrid between Survivor Series and bragging rights. So more than likely, it's going to be SmackDown versus Raw.
Yeah,
which could, in a sense, you could have it take place there. Like you said, you could plant the seeds and then have the switch, the double turn take place at the Survivor Series.
You definitely could do that.
Kind of like Brett and Owen.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, it will be a good twist. I think it's going to eventually happen. I think for both of their careers right now, it needs to happen because I feel like Sasha Banks and Bayley are lost right now.
Yeah.
They're lost.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, I think I do think I'm gonna go with Natalya and them. I just got a gut feeling with this one. Moving on, this might be a match a lot of people are looking forward to, and that's Trish Stratus and Lita taking on Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. How do you see this one going?
Oh, there's no way in the world Trish Stratus and Lita lose this one. I don't think. I think Trish Stratus and Lita actually get the win here. I don't think it's gonna be a quick match. I think it's gonna be pretty good. To see where these ladies work. These ladies right here are good wrestlers. Mickie James is a throwback who is kind of like Chris Jericho. She keep reinventing herself over and over again to stay relevant in this day and time. Which I like that fact. Alexa Bliss is a throwback. She could have been in that attitude area with those girls, with Lita and Trish. Definitely could have been in there, and she could have been one of the top stars that's there. And plus, we know Alexa Bliss is good on the mic. So when we see her and Trish get in the ring, it's gonna be interesting, to see how Trish and Lita, who really haven't been in the ring in a long time, in a quote unquote, it's not a singles match, but a traditional match in a long time, to see how they pair, see how they work with each other. But I think Trish and Lita get the win over Alexa Bliss and Mickie James.
Just for fun conversation's sake, any chance Trish and Lita have dissemination and we get one more feud between them two?
It would be great, but I don't think so. it would be cool, but like I said, I don't think so. If anything, there'll be dissension between Alexa Bliss and Mickie James.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go with Trish and Lita. It's hard to see them losing. I think I think Trish pins Alexa Bliss on this one. No, you know what? I think Mickie James takes the pin.
Yeah, I think Mickie James takes the pin. Keep Alexa Bliss. I don't want to say relevant, but keep her clean.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to NXT Women's Championship. Kairi Sane defending against Shayna Baszler.
Now, this is the one that I have a hard time picking.
Mm-hmm.
Shayna Baszler wins. She'll become the first two-time women NXT champion. No one has ever done it. Everybody's at least held it once.
Yep.
I would have thought they would have moved her up by now to the WWE roster. For some reason, they haven't moved her up. They're keeping her down, which I like. You know, they need some more competition in that roster. Bianca Belair is not ready yet. You know, to move up. I want to say this right here. I'm gonna have to go Shayna Baszler. I'm gonna have to go Shayna Baszler for the simple fact that, you know, and I haven't been a big Shayna Baszler fan. I thought she was a little bit stiff, but it works. It works right here, and I think Shayna Baszler retains her title, because if you had to pick a title to change, I think one title changes hands on this one, and I think this is the title.
Okay.
That changes hands. I think Shayna Baszler takes up the win on Kairi Sane. You watch NXT, Kairi Sane's NXT run hasn't been all that great, and when you look at it, none of the women's NXT championship run has been that great since, if you go back to Asuka.
Yeah.
So.
That's well, yeah, that's true. But you know what though?
Ember Moon's was like kind of.
I'm gonna give Ember Moon credit just because they kept that feud going to the point where, you know, when she had that successful title defense against Shayna Baszler, I thought that was good. But Asuka definitely probably had the best one. You know, I don't even know if I say the best. I would say the best in the recent, because I think Sasha Banks may have had. Man, Bayley had a good one too, though, because Bayley had some convincing wins over Sasha and Nia Jax. So.
Right. You know, she made Nia Jax. She beat Nia Jax.
Yeah, so, well, that's a different show for a different day.
Yeah.
But yeah, one title got changed hands. When you put it like that, I think this would be the one. But I don't know, man. I'm having a hard time. I'm gonna go with Kairi Sane on this one. I just think she finds a way to get it done. But I don't think Shayna Baszler gets called up just yet.
Yeah, you know, another reason I said Shayna Baszler just because I'm looking to try to look towards the future. I mentioned her name earlier, Bianca Belair. I don't see Bianca Belair taking on Kairi Sane. I see you got a heel and you got a strong face, which is Bianca Belair. That's why I was looking at Shayna Baszler get the W.
Well, is Bianca a face?
She's to me, she's a tweener.
Yeah, because that's a heel gimmick. When you talking about I'm the best, the EST.
Yeah, but she gets a lot of cheers.
Look at her.
yeah. You know, she got so to me, I think she's a tweener, but she can flow either way.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. Speaking of Bianca Belair, she is in the Women's Battle Royal. I have a hard time picking this one. Who you got winning it though?
Dude, this one is hard. Mm-hmm. My first mindset would have been like, you know what? They're gonna give it to somebody with nostalgia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're gonna let somebody that on an old timer win it who may want to look at getting another run. But then I said, well, you know what? Sense makes it that this should be Nia Jax to win. And you know, and let's put it this way: Naomi's not winning this one too. For all you Naomi friends out there,
I was thinking the same thing.
Naomi is not going to win. She may have a moment in this because she's a female Kofi Kingston, but she's not winning this. I will say I'm gonna go with Nia Jax.
Mind you, I forgot to mention, just in case those who don't know, the winner gets a championship match.
Yeah, that's again. I will go. That's the reason I'm not saying Naomi. You know, there's some of these people you're gonna eliminate. You're gonna eliminate Alicia Fox. No, Lana. You know. But yeah, I'm gonna think Nia Jax. I think Nia Jax gets the win here for this battle royal, unless they add somebody else. But I think it's gonna be Nia Jax.
You know, part of me says Asuka could do it, but why win it twice? Because but then again, that could be our way to get Asuka and Becky Lynch if you keep the title on Becky Lynch.
Right.
So, but you know what? I'm gonna go with Bianca Belair though, and I'm gonna go. This is how you get her to challenge for the NXT Women's title.
It could be. Now, if I'm not mistaken, help me out. Wasn't this supposed to be a 50 women battle royal? Or 50 women gonna be on a card? I remember that.
I think they said 50 on a card or something.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because They got 30 women, but yeah, I know they made some phone calls, but yeah, 50 would be too much.
Yeah, that's what I thought. 50 would be too much. So 30, I got you.
Yeah. So let's move on to the SmackDown Live Women's Championship match. Becky Lynch defended the title against Charlotte Flair in a last man standing match.
I'm gonna go on record and say this match should close the show.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go on record and say this match should close the show. I think this is the high profile match in this match, and I like the Becky and Charlotte Flair feud, but this feud also shows you that you don't have anything else on SmackDown.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Why you
I don't
say
think
that?
I don't think there's any other women on SmackDown right now that can compete with these two, except for Asuka.
Okay. So when you put it like that, okay, I agree. I thought you meant just nothing else on SmackDown in general.
Nah, talk about women and women wise. There's nothing else in my opinion can match up with these. Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Asuka are the top 3 women in my opinion on SmackDown right now.
I can't even put Asuka in that conversation, to be honest with you right now.
She can her storyline is put her in a situation where you almost forgot about her.
Mm-hmm.
But if they throw her back in that title picture, she can go.
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking of a story mode. I think that this is why I got to give the SmackDown women credit because they found ways to stay relevant.
I give you that. They have.
You look at the Iconics. You look at the Naomi and Asuka. You look at Deville and Rose. They found way, and obviously Lana and Zelina Vega. They all found ways to stay relevant.
Yeah, you can say. I mean, you can say that about the Riot Squad on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I can't. After that, you know, Bayley tried to stay relevant for the last couple of weeks with Finn Balor because of the mixed match challenge. We know Sasha Banks has been out. We know Dana Brooks has been with Titus Worldwide. Try to break off of them, but really haven't been. You know, and we know Tamina came back off an injury, so it's like, what next? And Nia Jax has been on doing her tour and being nominated for different awards and everything. So that Raw brand do have to catch up with SmackDown. But back to this, I want to say Becky Lynch walks away with the title.
Okay.
I want to say Becky Lynch walks away. I think Becky Lynch, to solidify her being a heel and to solidify everything that happened at SummerSlam, to me, Becky Lynch has to win this match because if she loses, where do she go? Because I don't think we get another match.
Man, this could be a double count out.
I hope not.
And I know I predicted that with what was it? Undertaker Triple H after listening to you on Wrestling Marks Excellence Radio. But I don't know, man. It's the obvious pick would be Becky Lynch, but Charlotte is just that type of person. Charlotte's like Stone Cold. At any given time, she could win it.
Right.
Or Triple H, you know. She's on that level.
She is. You know, I just thinking that, you know, with Becky Lynch holding on to it, maybe she can just keep it a little bit longer to go to another feud. Charlotte can move on from Becky, go wherever she needs to go, whether it's Asuka, whether it's somebody else on that level. And so Becky can have a title run without having to fight Charlotte.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I you know what? We put it like that. Yeah, I'll go ahead and say, you know, Becky Lynch wins this one.
Yeah.
And then to close, I think we'll close the show just because the way WWE has it listed on their website and the order of matches. Ronda Rousey defended the Raw Women's Championship against the gorgeous one herself, Miss Nikki Bella.
Oh, boy. And some people I say, you know, man, why you take a breath on it? This one is simple. No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's really not.
This one is not simple. Because probably how the people see the Bella twins, I'm gonna go ahead and say, look, Nikki Bella wins this match, but she doesn't win the title. She wins the match against Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey gets her. No, hold up. if I'm gonna take your theory on this. If this match goes on last, Ronda Rousey.
Okay.
Ronda Rousey wins. She makes Nikki Bella and Brie Bella tap out, even though Brie's not in the match.
I think if Nikki Bella won, I'll say this: I would probably be the only person in the world besides Brie that would be happy. It's not that I don't like Ronda. Let me make sure I clear that up. But just that shock factor, I would be satisfied. I don't want to see Ronda just running through the roster and being undefeated. I get, but I will say this: I do like the fact that she is selling. And no disrespect to Karma, but when Karma came into WWE, now granted there was a story they was telling there that they couldn't get to, but when she came in, nobody took her off her feet, and it would have been, that was the build up between her and Beth Phoenix. So when she went back to TNA, or when I started watching like some of her TNA stuff, I forgot that she was actually quote unquote touchable. But I love how they found ways to make Ronda, while she's good, she's not untouchable, So did she win? She lost to Alexa Bliss, right? I mean, to Nia Jax, right? Or did Nia win? I know it was. I mean, did Nia lose? I know it was disqualification, but I can't remember who Alexa Bliss hit first.
I want to say she hit Nia Jax first. I think Ronda actually lost a match.
Okay.
That big pin, and I'm gonna double check that.
Yeah, because I know either way, I don't see Ronda losing the title. But I'm back and forth because I kind of want to pick Nikki to win this one by disqualification. But then it's kind of like, do you really want to? If you're gonna close the show, do you want to end it with a DQ? I think you just go ahead and have Ronda tap Nikki, and then everybody goes home happy.
Well, that's why you end the match with Becky and Charlotte.
That should end the match. I would do it. As Hogan said, you already got that money, brother. So you're going to already have the attention of the mainstream audience, the people who wouldn't normally watch. So why not put Ronda in the semi-main event and then have Becky and Charlotte close the show?
Yeah, but Ronda's the face of the company right now in the women's division.
That's true.
She's the face of the women's division, so they're gonna close it. She'll close the show, and I think she wins. I think Nikki Bella wins somehow, but really my gut is telling me Ronda's gonna win.
Yeah,
and they can end the show on Celebration.
Yeah, there you go. Any chance we see the Four Horsemen stand off against each other? Four Horsewomen?
You could. I think you have a lot of women in it. I think we have a lot of women, a lot of cameo roles, or a lot of women in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have a lot of women who will come back who may not be fighting. That's where you may get your Jazz, where you may get your Jackie, may get your Eve Torreses. I think you have a lot of women who will come back, and this will be a big celebration for the WWE.
I meant
the women's evolution. So.
But I meant the Four Horsewomen. The WWE versus the MMA ones.
Not here. Not here. Not here. I don't think you get that here. I think somewhere down the line in the next year or two we do get it, but not right now. Okay. I'm just interested to see what shock value they give us. What do they give us that we have not seen? I think this being their first time doing an all women's pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. I think they have to give people something to talk about.
Now, let me ask you this, because I was listening to another podcast, or maybe just scrolling through Twitter, and some people said, man, for this to be an all-women's card, I'm not really excited about it. How do you feel about it?
I think WWE didn't build this. I think they built Crown Jewel more so than they built this Women's Evolution pay-per-view.
For real?
I think so. Think about it. Just look at go back and watch some of the old Raws and SmackDowns for last month and what they promoted. They promoted the Crown Jewel. They promoted the heck out of the Showdown in Australia.
I think they kind of got burnt out with this one. Just because when you think about they started promoting this in August, and then what was it, right before SummerSlam? And then they kind of had to like, or maybe it was after SummerSlam, but either way, they had to kind of like backtrack, and keep promoting, keep pushing it. So, I don't think I don't hate the card. I actually like it. Is it? I don't know if it's. I didn't think about it. Maybe it's not the best card they could put together with the roster they have right now, but I like it.
I like the card. I just think they were slow in releasing the matches, and a lot of that probably had to do with the fact that some stuff got leaked and they had to work some things out and change some things.
Mm-hmm.
I think each and every week there should have been match released. We're finding out now, within the last week and a half, what the main card is.
Yeah.
With the main storyline, where you could have released some of this information and talked about it. We knew, from us, we're November 2nd is next week, but we knew at the Crown Jewel pay-per-view like 3 weeks ago. I mean, the main event. Like 3 weeks ago. So I'm just saying, on that aspect of it, the promotion of it, I know they got a lot to promote and push. It just, to me, didn't seem like it was strongly pushed hard enough for the women. Now, the ticket sales are doing better since the main event. Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey been announced. We know TMZ got involved, all the other stuff. So ticket sales are doing well. When they first came out, they weren't doing so hot.
Yeah. Well, cool. So, Glenn, tell people where they can find you, man.
Man, they can find me on Twitter at gfather725. They can find the Wrestling Marks Excellence Podcast at WME Podcast. Check us out on YouTube, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you get your social media at. You can find the Wrestling Marks of Excellence with iHeartRadio. Just click on the link, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard him. You've heard his voice plenty of times on Break It Down with Brian H. So now you finally got a chance, if you haven't done your homework and checked out this podcast, now you heard his intelligence personified and the reason why you should be checking out his show. So, Glenn, I appreciate you coming aboard, man. We're going to do this again in a matter of time soon, probably sooner than later. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up the